Good morning, friends. Sometimes I love to go back through the things that God has said to me in His Word as I've read through the whole Bible. Once a year, twice a year, I try to go through the entire Bible. I try to go cover to cover, and sometimes what I'll do is I'll go through the old Bibles that I have that I've gone through the whole Bible, and where I've made notes, I like to reread the wisdom of what God has shown me. And so today, I was going through Proverbs and I stumbled upon this definition of wisdom, and I thought, I'm going to share it with y'all. Listen to what wisdom says and how important wisdom is in our life when it comes to a relationship with God. Proverbs 8, these are the notes I made. Does not wisdom call out? Does not understanding raise her voice? I, wisdom, raise my voice to all mankind. In other words, God wants us to have wisdom, His wisdom. It goes on later and says, choose my instruction. That's wisdom again. Choose it instead of silver. Choose knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is more precious than rubies. I, wisdom, dwell together with prudence. I possess knowledge and discretion. To fear the Lord is to hate evil. I hate pride and arrogance. All of this is as if wisdom is saying it like a person. Counsel and sound judgment are mine, belonging to wisdom. I have insight and I have power. Wisdom again. So there's power in wisdom. Down in verse 20, it continues, I walk in the way of righteousness along the paths of justice. This is the verse that really got me to want to just take a few minutes to share God's wisdom with you. Did you know that in another place in the Bible it says that God's throne is built on righteousness and justice? Those are the two pillars that are His throne. But wisdom says, I walk in the way of righteousness along the paths of justice. So wisdom is literally built in and walks into the pillar, the foundation of God's throne. The Lord brought me, wisdom, forth. The Lord brought me forth as the first of His works. Before His deeds of old, wisdom was there. I, wisdom, was formed long ages ago. When there were no watery depths, I was given birth. When there were no springs overflowing with water. Before the mountains were settled into place, before the hills, I was given birth. Wisdom again. This is from Genesis. The guy who wrote the proverb here is quoting it. I was there when He, God, set the heavens in place. When He marked out the horizon on the face of the deep. When He established the clouds above and fixed securely the fountains of the deep. When He gave the sea its boundary so the waters would not overstep His command. And when He marked out the foundations of the earth, then I, wisdom, was constantly at His side. I, wisdom, was filled with delight day after day, rejoicing always in His presence, rejoicing in His whole world, and delighting in, get this, mankind. So there's a form of wisdom that actually cherishes us as mankind. Now then, my children, listen to me, listen to wisdom. Blessed are those who keep my ways, wisdom's ways. Listen to my instruction and be wise. Do not disregard it. Blessed are those who listen to me. For those who find me, wisdom, find life and receive favor from the Lord. Amazing. Friends, how important is wisdom? Yeah, but what do I do to find wisdom? Did you know that in the book of James, James writes that God gives us wisdom in abundance if we just ask if we just ask. Now, a lot of people would probably think that my life, my family's life, coming to a continent like Africa, abandoning all that was comfortable, and living here for the last 10 years might seem like a sign of foolishness. But I would debate that it was actually wisdom. See, for a lot of years, I was told and prayed over that I was supposed to seek this word. And I still feel like I haven't found it. But every time I get a little closer, I realize how much God's given us wisdom, his wisdom, in abundance if we'll just ask. And that wisdom has been there since the beginning of time, since the beginning of the foundations of the earth. When he created all things, he did it in wisdom. And there is love in wisdom. There's power in wisdom. There is compassion and kindness for humanity in wisdom. God's wisdom is above what we can imagine or think. And I would encourage you and challenge you to ask him today for more of it. Seek it and you will find it. Knock and the door will be open to you. Ask and he will answer. I hope that bless and encourage you today. I hope that gives you a hunger to seek after his wisdom. Walk in faith, go encouraged.